A vision is seeing not what is, but what can be or what should be. Go back to Proverbs 29, verse 18. Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 18. A vision is not concerns itself with the failures of the past, but it concerns itself with what can be done in the future. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning of it. You got to get a vision for your family. You got to get a vision for your finances. You got to get a vision for faithful service. Proverbs 29, verse 18 says, where there is no vision, the people perish. I heard a pastor one day, long time ago, I was listening to preaching. I was a teenager. And he told a story about these two soul winners knocking on the door of a young person. And that young person, teenage boy, got saved. And he got excited and invited his family to church with them. And that next Sunday, the entire family went to that Baptist church that those soul winners came from. And when they walked into the church auditorium, this young person looked up, and just like we have this sign up here, they had a sign behind the pulpit, behind the platform. And what it was someone had crafted these these individual letters out of wood. And they had across that platform these words, where there is no vision, the people perish. And that young person and that family got kind of connected there. Next week, a couple soul winners followed up on that family. The entire family got saved. Next Sunday, they were all baptized. They started coming to church and serving faithfully. Dad started driving the church bus, and mom started singing in the choir, and the kids just kind of got connected and started being faithful to service and faithful to soul winning. They all started going soul winning as a family. That boy eventually surrendered to go off to the mission field. And after receiving some training, he's out from the mission field. His church actually took him on for support as a missionary. And he was in the mission field. He got news after a couple of years that his pastor had retired and a new pastor came in. And after, a few years later, a couple years later, his mom and dad call him and tell him, we're going to a different church now. We're going to another Baptist church in another town. He said, why are you doing that? He said, the church is just changing. They're just bringing in liberal music, and not soul winning anymore. It's just not the same. And he calls back that new pastor, and the pastor just kind of, said, well, I'm sorry about your parents leaving, and we're going to continue to support you as a missionary, and just kind of left it at that, and continued getting his support. But he noticed that after a while, the checks, the monthly checks, they were more sporadic, not coming as consistently. And eventually, they just stopped. Just wasn't getting any checks from them, any support. Tried to call the church and couldn't get a hold of anybody. Eventually, had someone tell him that the church had actually closed down. And this young man comes back to the United States on a furlough. He decides, I'm going to stop by that building and see what's going on. I want to see with my own eyes. He drives up to that building, and he sees the windows are boarded up. Sees that it's just kind of in disarray. Just you can tell no one's giving attention to the building. He thinks to himself, man, this place wasn't like this. And he walks up to the building. He tries to, kind of get in the door, but it's locked. He goes around the building. He sees that one of the windows, one of the planks that were nailed in, they didn't nail it in all the way. And he kind of can pull that plank back, and he kind of begins to peek into the building. He's able to look into the auditorium. It's all dirty, and it's dusty, and it's damp, and it's dark. And he's thinking to himself, how could it be? This place was so alive. This place was full of so much love, and now it's just dirty and dead. And as his eyes adjusted, he kind of looked into that auditorium. He looked at the platform. Of course, the pulpit's not there. There's no chairs. There's nothing. But that sign was still up on that wall. He looked up at that sign. The only thing is that W had fallen off. And the sign out read, "Here there is no vision. The people perish." I'm here to tell you, if somebody doesn't get a vision for what God can do in the future, people will perish. There are families, there are children that will not be raised right. There are marriages that will end in divorce. There are people that will die and go to hell for no other reason than the fact that there was a group of people that did not have the ability to look into the future and see not what is, but what can be and what should be. I'm just trying to motivate you. Get a vision. Get a vision. Maybe it's for your family. Maybe it's for your children, maybe it's for your marriage, maybe it's for your business. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's for future ministry. Maybe God wants to use you as a pastor or a missionary, or God just wants to use you as a faithful man or a faithful woman that'll help us reach our community with the gospel of Jesus Christ. But let me tell you something. Where there is no vision, the people